Alright folks, I just posted the links to the race, so if you're just joining us, practice is finishing up right now, and as you can see the red flag is out, and we will be starting our race shortly. Alright everybody, welcome. Tonight we are doing the Spec Racer Ford car in Watkins, Glen International. I'm your announcer, Michael Root. I will be Watching this race from multiple angles tonight, I'm running some new software. As you can see, one of the additions is a track map right below the Washington, D.C. region icon. I can kind of put that anywhere, but I figured that was probably the best place to put it. But I also have a whole bunch of data on another screen now, thanks to Sim Racing app, that will hopefully make this process a little bit more informative for me and more informative for you. So tonight with these SRF cars, we will be doing a standing start, which is very traditional with the SRFs when we do them in iRacing. In real racing, they do a rolling start like everybody else, but tonight we'll do a standing start. Looks like Ken Housel's out in front. We'll see how this goes. He's in the number 23 car. We have 16 racers tonight, so it should be a good field. Watkins Glen is about 3.3 miles, so this track's about a third longer than Summit Point, so there is opportunity for these cars to spread out. But this is also kind of a twisty and winding track, and these cars in practice definitely had some difficulty. There's our green flag. Kenneth wasting no time getting out there in front and building on his lead from the start. One thing that's interesting about these cars and this track, I mean, this isn't, it doesn't appear to be the smoothest track in the world. There appears to be some bumps and lifts in the track, which I think with regular cars isn't that big of a deal, but with how sensitive these SRFs are, there's several places where the drivers have to kind of take it easy. We're going through one of those now, this inner loop. You can see how that 23 car gets a little unsettled in some of those corners. These cars also have a tendency that if you use too much brake, they just come right around on you. They sort of, the tail gets happy and it goes out in front of the front fender, which is not where you want your tail to be. So I expect this race might be a little messier than usual. And really it can happen at any time or any point. Looks like we had a few penalties given out on the start. I think Louis Alessi is going to have to do a stop and go for jumping the start. One of those things with those standing starts is you cannot go before the green flag. So if you have any forward movement at all, you can get penalized for it. I don't imagine it'll be too severe, but it will be sometime in the pits. With as tight as this pack is right now, it's probably going to get him in the back, and he's going to have to catch up to everybody else. So as we come around to the start-finish line, we'll go ahead and go over our current race order. Out in front with Kenneth Housel in the number 23 car, we have Paul Darling in the 155, Greg Obadiah in the 66, Zach Rubin in the number 7, Dave Fitzgerald in the number 91, Mike Kelly in the number 56, Sam Scott in the number 98, Eric Jones in the number 51, Travis Trussell in the 140, Don Manning in the 92, Michael Katnich in the 45, James Saffel in the 48, Alan Claffey in the 39, Louis Alessi in the 43, who is currently in the pits, suffering his penalty, Francis Brew in the 69, Francois Brew, and Chris Herbert in the number 4. And you'll have to forgive me tonight. I am still recovering from that cold that I had last week and I think the week before. It's just the season, and I'm talking mostly not through my nose, so I'll have to, I'll do my best to sound my best. Good run up here with first and second with Kenneth and Paul, keeping it nice and close up there in the front. Only about 0.8 seconds apart here between these guys. Now about half a second. Third place a little farther back, about 4 seconds behind. And then you have fourth place, who's about 15 seconds behind. So, decent sized gap here between first and second and third and fourth. But between first and second, it's definitely very close. As we pop over to Greg and Mike, we can see here that Greg, Mike, and Dave are all running pretty close to one another. Mike Kelly right up on Greg. Dave not far behind these guys. Trying to make up a little bit of distance on that turn there. We really have two packs in the front. You got the 23 and the 15 car. I'm sorry, 155 out in front. That's Kenneth and Paul. And they're really battling it out up there in front. But then we have this nice little pack of three of Greg, Mike, and Dave, who are definitely not giving anything up here. Well, I take it back. Dave seems to have fallen behind. He must have made some contact with the wall. Yeah, I'm seeing Dave now. He's not in last place, but he's second to last, so he's definitely falling back. So now we've got Mike and Greg. I'm sorry. Yeah, Mike and Greg battling out here. What happened to Paul? Oh my goodness, there's so much changeover in this race. It's hard to keep track. So Paul's falling back now to fourth place, and a good distance behind Mike and Greg. So we'll go back and watch our second and third place race here. Who are our closest? The pack behind them, I mean, fourth, fifth, and sixth. You know, once we can start getting a little bit farther back, you know, we can see here the cars aren't too far apart. I mean, they can see the car in front of them. They're definitely more spread out than these guys. Mike Kelly still chasing Greg. If you're wondering what that orange dot is that we are passing, well, Kenneth is passing right now, but as we come up with these two cars, which are the purple dots on our map, that little orange dot right there is the pace car. So the map tracks the pace car at all times, so you'll see that little orange dot sitting there. You could also think of it as pit out. So if anybody's entering onto the track from the pits, they would come in there because that's where the pace car sits. But as we go around on this little micro map that you can see, I know the numbers are probably pretty hard unless you're really up close on the map to see that. But the green dot is going to be your race leader. That will always be your race leader. And the purplish pink dot, maybe it's a shot. That dot is the car that I'm currently watching. And since these guys are so close to one another, they're essentially one dot on the little mini map. And even on my larger map on my other screen, they are essentially one dot. So we definitely have Mike and Greg battling it out here. Really only about 0.3 of a second apart. A little less than that, about 0.2 of a second in most cases. But Kenneth is just blowing it away up there. His best lap is a 2:10.5, and Greg's best lap, who's currently in second place, is a 2:13.6. So quite a difference in those best laps. But the last lap, Kenneth was only doing a 2:13, so he's not doing 2:10 consistently. but he can still pull a 3-second faster lap than his competitors. That's pretty darn fast. There are some folks in the 212s, Paul Darling, Zach Rubin, they both have pulled a 212. Zach, it was his last lap that he did that. If he keeps that up, he might be able to make some gains on the front of his pad. So as you see Ken crossing the finish line there, we have about 10 laps to go. Our pack is pretty spread out at this point. We definitely have Kenneth running it far and away out first. Mike and Greg battling it out for second and third. It looks like the number 7 car and the number 98 car. Let's take a look at those guys. Yep, Sam and Zach battling for 5th place right now, with Zach in 5th and Sam right behind him. So those guys are pretty close. And those are pretty much the closest races we have going on right now. Both these guys are catching up to the 155 car of Paul Darling. But Paul's still out there. Jump back to these guys who are 12th, 11th, and 10th in the pack. We have 10th place is Alan, 11th is Zach, and 12th is Dave, who we're looking at right now. Pretty good battle back here. Even Chris isn't that far behind them. But see a little slip up there from Alan. I think Zach is just going to pull in front there. I think that's also going to give Dave an opportunity here. Maybe went a little slow through that turn. I don't think he wanted to run into Alan. But that also cost him a little bit of momentum. Dave should be able to make a pass here. Yes, he is. Definitely came through that turn much more clean. Carried a lot more speed than Alan. And it paid off at the exit of the turn. Him just being able to pull out ahead of Alan. So Dave now claiming 11th place. And Zach keeping up in 10th and increasing his lead from Dave. Ken out in front. Car still looking nice and clean. Not like anybody's hit it or he's hitting any walls. He's just driving safe and fast and trying to not make any mistakes and keep his lead. Back here we still have the Mike Kelly, Greg Obadiah battle. I think Mike is playing it safe for a couple of laps. Probably planning to challenge Greg in an upcoming lap. Like right there was a good example. I think if Mike really wanted to, he could have come out of there a bit faster than Greg. Greg going wide through the turn, not hitting the apex. Mike taking the turn more properly, we'll say. He definitely would have had more speed coming through there. So I don't think Mike wants to pass Greg right now. But he might want to think about it, because Paul Darling has caught up. He is about 4 seconds behind these guys now, so really needs to think about if he keeps kind of playing around with Greg, he might give Paul the opportunity to catch up to him. We can take a look at what 4 seconds looks like. Now, he looks pretty far away, but he's really not. If he's got him in his sights, he can definitely catch these two. You know, I'm taking some breaks of silence there, but I know you don't want to hear me coughing or sneezing, so I'm doing my best to keep that off the mic. So on the rest of the track, we still have Paul in the 155 car, who's in 4th place. Right behind him is Sam Scott in the number 98. Probably about as far back from Paul as Paul is from the 2nd and 3rd place battle that we got going on. A little bit farther back in the 140 car is Travis Trussell. Behind him is Don Manning. All of these cars are relatively well spread out, about 4 or 5 seconds apart. On the map, most of our bubbles are spreading out, as you can also see. Looks like the 51 and the 45 car. So Eric Jones and Michael Katnich are closing the gap on each other. Eric catching up to Michael a little bit. See here if Eric can maintain his momentum. Heard a little tire squeal there. I mean, these cars really do unsettle easily on this track. And I know a lot of our racers are doing everything they can to basically just keep the car pointed in the direction that they want it to go. So that will obviously detract going fast when you're focused on keeping it on the track. Eric's doing a good job catching up to Michael. And it looks like Michael's also catching up to Don. Eric coming off the gas there a little bit on the exit. Again, losing a little bit of his momentum. If he'd have pushed through that, they'd probably be side by side right now. But Eric's an experienced racer as well, so he's going to definitely want to make decisions that he considers advantageous. You don't always want to pass at any opportunity. Here's probably a good opportunity to take the pass. But it looks like he's going to draft instead. But that, I think he came out of that turn with quite a bit more speed, and then you saw there he had to brake before he even went into the turn, giving himself a little bit more room with Michael. Unlike a car, a traditional fendered car, I mean, this car does have fenders, but it's really considered a video car. These cars are very fragile. Bumping is not something that you do a lot of. It tends to end your race very quickly. So, not that bumping is encouraged in any way, but it does make these drivers a little bit more cautious. Because they know if they make contact, their car is probably going to suffer significant damage. I definitely think Eric here is driving better lines for the most part than Michael, and if he can just set up a good pass, I could see him getting out in front of Michael and being there for some length of time. Paul Darling again catching up to Greg and Mike Kelly. Mike Kelly successfully making the pass earlier in the lap. Now Greg's going to be the one playing the catch-up game. Going back to watching Eric. See if he's able to, coming out of this next set of turns. We're about to go through the heel. Coming up on the off-camber turn. I definitely think Eric has an opportunity up here if he maintains his speed momentum. I think that's what he's going to do. I think here he's going to try and go for the pass. He comes out of his turn faster, which he is. But he gets in behind again. So So Eric choosing to maintain the draft and just play it safe for now. I'm a bit more of an aggressive driver. I'd probably be going for the passes, but there you go. See? Michael not able to maintain it, turning the car sideways, and Eric gets a nice clean run on his own without having to risk a chance at a pass going bad, and claiming 8th place. So here we have Paul Darling. Mike Kelly obviously suffering some sort of issue because he has fallen back to 5th place. Got Sam Scott in 4th and Paul Darling up here in 3rd. I was thinking Paul was a threat. I mean, watching him go around the track, Paul was definitely catching up to our 2nd and 3rd place folks. And I think he's going to get up here and challenge Greg. I won't be surprised when that happens. We got our race leader coming around 2 turns until the start-finish line. And that will start when he crosses. We'll have about 5 laps to go. As we see Kenneth now crossing that start-finish line, we might get a little flash up here that says, there we go, 5 to go. Sometimes it's nice to actually have information presented to the broadcaster. It does make life a little bit easier sometimes. As we come down, let's see what the times are on these 2 guys. Greg pulling a 2:13.6 and Paul pulling a 2:12.6, which is also his fastest lap. So, you know, they may be 25 seconds behind the race leader, but they are right on top of one another. And with Paul running slightly faster laps than Greg, there's a good chance here that we're going to see some competition coming up. I'm also seeing the number 51 car from Eric Jones up here battling with Don Manning. Eric constantly trying to increase his lead. I'm sorry, not lead. He's constantly trying to improve his position. He's in 7th place now, and it's looking like he's going to get around Don and climb to 6th. Eric's got a lot of speed and momentum. He's driving nice and smooth. He's hitting his turns, his apexes, his exits. He's just flying right now. Let's hope he doesn't fly too fast through here and lose it. This is the tricky part. That inner loop, as they call it. Yeah, and here goes Eric just kind of flying past Don on the turn. Nice clean pass by Eric. Good job. Looking around the track, we'll take a look at Greg and Paul. Still very close to one another. But Paul Darling now out in front of Greg. Multiple cars in the pits. Number 7, number 40. I think 39. Allen's in the pits right now. So we have quite a few cars. Maybe they had contact. As we get Kenneth across the start-finish line again, we've got about 4 laps to go. We have something interesting on the map now. We have a blue car, well, a blue dot going around our map between our race leader and who we're looking at right now. I'm thinking that's just symbology for a lap car, that it's somebody who is not in the competition. They're more than a lap behind, so they flag them as that light blue car. So that's pretty important to know. See Greg here catching up to Paul, definitely gaining some speed there. Both of these guys still running pretty quick, but Ken's up there running 2:11s, which, you know, his laps are faster than their fastest laps. I mean, Kenneth is just really flying around this track. increasing his lead to about 25 seconds. Yeah, as long as Ken keeps all four wheels pointing the direction that they need to be pointed, I think he'll be okay. Dave Fitzgerald climbing up to 6th position, which is where he started. Paul Darling, who's currently in 2nd place, started in 3rd. Greg Obadiah, who's in 3rd place, started in 4th. So both of these guys improving their position by 1. Paul, obviously, throughout this race, having to climb back up from the back of the pack. So he's done a lot to reclaim his position. But Paul looks like he's out of it at this point. He must have hit a wall or something. I missed it. Maybe you guys saw it on the screen. I was busy looking at all my fun data on the other screen, and I didn't see what happened to Paul. But Paul is going to be turning into the pits. So it looks like our 1st and 2nd place, barring any major accidents, are pretty well decided. Go ahead and jump back to the Mike Kelly and Sam Scott, who are currently in 3rd and 4th place. Mike trying to catch up to Sam, which he might do right here now. It's always nail biting when you see a guy whose tires start going left and right like that. It's called a tank slapper, right? It just feels like somebody slapped you with a gas tank and the car just starts flopping around. Well, on a regular car. I have no idea what the gas tanks are on these cars. I assume it's in the rear of the car. I don't know. I'm not an SRF driver. And these things are custom built for racing, so who knows what they do with the gas tanks. Going through the inner loop. Mike backing off a little bit, taking it slow. But he is definitely going to put some pressure on Sam with only 3 laps to go, soon to be 2. I don't think Mike's going to give Sam a lot of breathing room. Something I learned about iRacing last week that I found a little bit unusual, but it sort of explains why I was always calling the races a lap early. So the way they work the white flag and the extra lap, just the way the information was presented to me, I was interpreting the white flag as the last lap, and for the race leader, it was sort of like the lap before the last lap. It was weird, but it was always putting me, I was always expecting to be a lap ahead of where I was. So I was calling races as over when they really weren't over yet. Hopefully with this new information, I won't do that this time. But I will tell you exactly what I am seeing and what I know is going on. Although, if you can see on that little map, it says 2 to go, which is exactly what I was going to tell you. So we've got about 2 to go. Multiple lap cars here. Greg's still in 2nd place. He's about to lap Zach Rubin. But we still, this Mike Kelly, Sam Scott battle really is our best battle on the track. It looks like if we go back, Francois Bou and Don Manning got a little bit of a battle going on. I don't know if there's a 3rd car involved. Chris is pretty far back. So Francois and Don are also fighting it out for 7th and 8th place. Francois want to make the pass. If he keeps Don to the outside, which it looks like he's going to, he'll definitely come out of this with more speed and will probably maintain the position that he did. Yeah, it looks like that is exactly what he needs. Don got a little bit of speed, but if he taps his brake at all, he'll lose that advantage. But no, he's going to take it back. Don pulling out in front of Francois on the back straight. These guys going through that tricky inner loop. By the way, folks, I don't name these corners. I just tell you what they're named. I don't know why that's called the inner loop, but it's called the inner loop. Out in front of Dawn, I believe that is a lap car, and we now have the white flag out with 1 to go. Now, my understanding of 1 to go is when Kenneth crosses the start-finish line, the race is over. But we'll see if that's the case, or if iRacing is going to do it different. So Francois and Don both passing that lap car, and we can look through our leaders real quick to give you an idea what's going on. You got Kenneth out in front, Greg in second, Mike in third, Sam in fourth, Dave in fifth. Right behind him is Eric Jones. Eric definitely passing him on the inside. Let's see if Dave can make up that gap. This might be the race to watch right now. I mean, we know this race is coming to an end, so I don't think Dave is going to back out of this for any reason. If I know Dave, at least in virtual racing, he'll risk it all to take 5th place. Although it seems like it's being pretty clean right now. Dave backing out of that, you know, putting in a little bit of break in. I understand this inner loop is scary, but he gave up a lot of room to Eric there. But he's got a little more speed. If he can get back on the gas before Eric and keep it, he might keep creeping forward as we come around through the curve. I think this is called the curve or the clutch. So the leader just took the checker. So this is definitely our last lap. When these guys cross the start-finish line, it will be over. Kenneth, his last lap being a 2:10.8, 0.3 of a second off of his fastest lap. So Kenneth just consistently pulled extremely fast laps throughout this entire race. Just truly blowing away the competition. We have Greg crossing the finish line now in 2nd place. Behind him is Mike Kelly in 3rd, and then you're going to have Sam Scott in 4th. So our 5th and 6th are going to be decided here with Dave and Eric. It looks like Eric's, I don't know. Oop, Dave getting a little loose. Is it going to be a drag race across the finish line? And Eric's going to take it for 5th place in front of Dave. It was a good race, though. In 7th place, we have Don Manning. In 8th place, we have Chris Herbert. 9th is Francois Blue. 10th is Michael Katnich. 11th is James Saffel. And our racers who are otherwise, most of them are in the pits, but number 12th place is going to go to Zach Rubin. 13th, Alan Claffey. 14th, Lewis Alessi. 15th, Paul Darling. 16th, Travis Trussell. Alan may actually take 12th when he crosses the start-finish line. We'll see if that's the case. He's number 39. No, it looks like Alan will take 13th place and Zach Rubin will take 12th. So, great race tonight. We had some very good competitive races. Not for first, but for some of the other positions. Kenneth, I believe, is taking his victory lap. We can jump to see him at the end of that real quick. This imaginary checkered flag hanging out the window. He's going to be cordial and pulled into the pits. very good race tonight. Some good racing that I was able to find and pull out while looking at my data. Maybe I missed somebody flying off the track once or twice, but in general, I think we were able to use the new software to jump to the important races, uh, and that's what it's all about, right? Watching the close racing and seeing what's going on. So I hope you folks enjoyed tonight. This is Mike Root with Washington D.C. region, and I hope you will join us next week for week 6, which will be, I will tell you very quick, or I won't. I wanted to, but I apparently closed my Mars schedule, virtual Mars schedule. So week 6 will be Mid-Ohio. It's the full with the chicane, 30-minute race, just like tonight and like most of our races, and it is the MX-5, VWTDI, and Mustang groups again. So I hope everybody enjoyed the race. I hope you have a good evening, and if you have any questions, comments, please post them on the YouTube. Like, subscribe, that would all be awesome. We'd really appreciate it, and you have a good evening.